Every time you listen to the Family Bible Journey, you are a blessing and encouragement to us, so thank you for listening. This is episode 418, Season 1 of the Family Bible Journey Old Testament podcast. Today we're looking at Proverbs chapter 21. The title of today's podcast is Living in Confidence. And our key verses for today, the entirety of Proverbs 21, where we read, "The king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do righteousness and justice is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the lamp of the wicked, are sin. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a snare of death. The violence of the wicked will sweep them away because they refuse to do what is just. The way of the guilty is crooked, but the conduct of the pure is upright. It is better to live in a corner of the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. The soul of the wicked desires evil. His neighbor finds no mercy in his eyes. When a scoffer is punished, the simple becomes wise. When a wise man is instructed, he gains knowledge. The righteous one observes the house of the wicked. He throws the wicked down to ruin. Whoever closes his ear to the cry of the poor will himself call out and not be answered. A gift in secret averts anger, and a concealed bribe, strong wrath. When justice is done, it is a joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers. One who wanders from the way of good sense will rest in the assembly of the dead. Whoever loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. The wicked is a ransom for the righteous, and the traitor for the upright. It is better to live in a desert land than with a quarrelsome and fretful woman. Precious treasure and oil are in a wise man's dwelling, but a foolish man devours it. Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. A wise man scales the city of the mighty and brings down the stronghold in which they trust. Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. Scoffer is the name of the arrogant, haughty man who acts with arrogant pride. The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. All day long he craves and craves, but the righteous gives and does not hold back. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with evil intent? A false witness will perish, but the word of a man who hears will endure. A wicked man puts on a bold face, but the upright gives thought to his ways. No wisdom, no understanding, no counsel can avail against the Lord. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. This is the word of the Lord. So here in chapter 21, we are going to consider what it means for us to live in confidence. And we're going to take a look at three different particular portions of this proverb, verses 1 to 6 in the beginning, in particular verse 3. We're also going to take a look at verses 21 and 31. The first 6 verses, the king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do righteousness and justice is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the lamp of the wicked, are sin. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a snare of death. We talk about living in confidence. Here, verse 3, it reminds us that the Lord desires steadfast love, not sacrifice. And I have one of those words of wisdom sections here on this verse. It's actually a reference to Hosea chapter 6, verse 6. And those words of wisdom, for those who may be new to the Journal Bible, when we note those in the Journal Bible, we have them in all caps and black ink. And it says Hosea 6:6, WOW, God desires steadfast love, not sacrifice. The knowledge of God over offerings. See, there are lots of people in this world that are living by the mentality that the ends justify the means. In other words, that they can do whatever they want to whoever they want as long as they feel that their cause is noble or just. And honestly, I don't even think that people care so much about whether or not a cause is noble or just. They just want to get their own way. And if they want to get their own way, there are many people especially right now in positions of power and authority around the world, that are going to just force their will on other people. But to them, I would say, verse 2, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. Those who think that they can do whatever they want to whoever they want for whatever reason, they think that the ends justify the mean. Well, they're going to have to answer to the one and only judge in the end. And so we, as God's people, we can take refuge in knowing that God is the Lord, that he is the judge, and that in the end, evil cannot, it will not remain forever. However, the good, the noble, the honorable, the righteous, these things will remain forever. I have verse 21 highlighted where it says, whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. And that is a promise of the Lord, that we who strive after him, imperfect as we may be, as feeble as our attempts may be, so long as we are striving for righteousness, so long as we are seeking to live in the Lord's way, there is tremendous blessing for us in that. And if you want to think of the Lord's word or walking in the Lord's way as a destination, you could think of it maybe like, maybe you think of it as magnetic north, for instance. I don't know why we love compasses here lately in this Family Bible journey, but we do, because the reality is that even if you are lost, but you keep walking in the right direction and you are guided by a true compass, say you're walking north, even if you have to walk around a lake or cross a river or even need to scale a mountain or walk around a mountain, as long as you keep moving in the right direction, you are going to continue to get closer to your final destination. And that is, I think, a fair metaphor for the life of faith. We're not going to always get it right, but as long as we are at least trying and listening to the Lord and seeking to do his will and to walk in his ways, we are going to be heading in the right direction. Even if there are obstacles in our path that we need to go around them, even if we get distracted and let off course, as long as we keep returning to our original bearing and keep moving in the right direction, we have confidence that we're getting closer and closer to our final destination. And because the Lord in his word is always true and never steers us astray, we can, despite our feelings, despite our struggles, despite our temptations, and even our falling to temptations, by God's grace and because of his forgiveness, continue walking in his way, knowing that there is tremendous blessing when we do, and that there is a confidence that comes at knowing, even though the world is leading us astray, even though our own feelings and inclinations and thoughts may deceive us, that when we persist in the Lord's will and continue to walk in his way, that we are a tremendous blessing. And we are tremendously blessed, which gives us a sort of confidence the world cannot give. So let us live in confidence as we persist in righteousness. Thanks for listening to the Family Bible Journey, and a special thank you to all whose financial contributions make this podcast work. If you would like to make a contribution to support our ministry, go to the website, familybiblejourney.com, where you can make a one-time contribution, or better yet, become one of our monthly sponsors. All contributions are tax-deductible, and I receive zero compensation for this podcast because it is 100% a labor of love for you. Our blessing for today. May you see through the deceptiveness of this age, be delivered from foolishness, and find everlasting love and honor as you walk in the Lord's way. Amen.